Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Blatstein, the physician founder of Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service, Physician Prison Consultants. Today, I am going to discuss following up on the fear of sentencing and then going to prison. And so we are going to default to President Ronald Reagan. Inspect what you expect. So you've made one at sentencing, you and your attorney has made only one placement request to the judge, and the judge agreed. But you have yet to be notified. What do you do? So first thing is I would call my attorney and ask them to they could check because you don't even know where would you go. I would call then if the attorney is being no help, I would call the Marshal Service. I would not surrender to the Marshal Service, but I would call the Marshal Service and ask them if they have any idea where you should go. Or I would call I don't know, the Federal Bureau of Prisons in Grand Prairie, Texas. That's possible. But I would call your attorney first. Preparation for if you're self surrendering. Learn what prison you're going to be designated to, and then ensure that they expect you. Did your court paperwork arrive? Are you listed on the BOP website? So you want to go to the BOP website, bop.gov, and put your name in. If it's a satellite camp, again, I've said you want to present to the higher security facility. That's just because they do all intake at the one location. While at the higher security prison, they will house the more violent persons. You're not and should not be interacting with any of them. You will interact with their staff as they deal with those individuals. Their attitude toward you may reflect, though, the same harshness. In other words, it won't be a warm welcome or warm and fuzzy first impression. You want to bring in copies of your driver's license, social security card, medical file. Your medical file, big or small, should go in an envelope and title the envelope legal mail. Prescription, original prescriptions, an original bottle labeled for your medications. And if you have a medical device, that also should be noted in your medical record, in your pre-sentence report. And when I went in, I had the prescription for my medical or CPAP right on the CPAP. If you had a court ordered penalty restitution, if it's paid in full, bring proof. And if you don't have it, get on the phone right away and ask the attorney to provide it for you. If you do not have proof, contact your attorney ASAP before you surrender. Next, once you have proof that you do not have any court ordered payment responsibility, you can keep any amount of money in your trust fund or commissary account. Sending money, Western Union, I believe it's $3 to send up to, you can send $300 to $500, 300 to 500. MoneyGram is 300 max. BOP lockbox is any amount. A wedding band, ring, a religious necklace, maximum value is $100, no stones. So whatever it is, you just say it's $100 or less, but it can't have any stones on it. Release plan, phone contact list, no color or double-sided anything. You don't want colored paper. You don't want colored ink. It's black ink or blue ink. Bring it saying that you read online your release plan. Bring it saying you read online that you wanted to give it to your case manager. And you can also mail a copy to yourself the day before, no more than 3 pages per envelope, so that you're sure you have a copy of it when you get there. The soonest, earliest release is after you've served 25% of your time. Your case manager meeting is supposed to be within 30 days. If you're going to a satellite camp after being screened and boxing your clothes to be sent home by the BOP, expect to be put in an isolation cell. This could take hours or days for various reasons. Don't be surprised. Hopefully, if I've worked with you a bit and you've had if you've had books set up some sort of schedule, magazines, newspapers, you'll begin to get them right away. Second, before prison, develop a routine. We're all creatures of habit. You may not realize it, but depending on how old you are, if you have kids, you don't have kids, we get up every day and we do about the same thing. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you do what you have to do. You have breakfast, something to eat. If you have kids, you get them ready for school. You get in the car, or you take a train to work. You do pretty much. You have a routine. You're done work, you go to the gym. Whatever it is you do that same routine every day. That habit is something that we're creatures of. We need to begin to hardwire ourselves to create another habit. And this habit is going to be something that we need to start before we get into prison. And is going to be, the habit is going to be either it's going to be you get a job, excuse the phone. It's going to be you get a job, You do your job. Don't pay anyone to do your job for you. You have you're going to take first step back programs. You're going to go to the programs. Hopefully, you have some sort of logbook or journal that you can from Amazon that has lines on it, maybe some sort of printing inside. Otherwise, they may not let a blank book get through to you, but you want lines on the pages so that you can journal what you were every day that you went to the class, what you learned from the class, something that begins to build up. And that's part of that release plan, things that you learned in the class. But it's also insurance. Why is it insurance? It's going to be insurance because suppose 6, 8 months after you go, you've been taking all these first step back programs and you meet the case manager and they say, on this date 7 months ago, we showed that you didn't go to this class. And you can have your, log entry and they'll have a copy. You'll have a copy that you've given to them that shows that you've been there. It's your insurance. If you had a meeting with a correction staff that really wasn't going in your favor, um, you want to write down every meeting that you had with every correction staff so that you can go, you have it to fall back on should there be another problem. If you have a medical issue and you have a medical challenge or problem with the staff or getting health care, that should be written down every day. Who you talk to, what happened, the outcome, all of that is documentation. If you're getting books from home, maybe two a month on nonfiction topics that may interest you, and maybe there's something there that you learn that you want to remember for later. Note it down in this particular notebook, and then before each meeting, copy the pages and take them with you, and then share with the case manager that this I realized I need a release plan. This is the work I've been doing to while I've been here, and I'd like you to just try and add this to my file. Sometimes they'll take it and add it to your file, and sometimes they'll throw it away. If they throw it away, part of prison is being disappointed and then disappointed again, and frustrated. It just happens all the time. It's kind of why they were put on this path. Why insurance? I just went through a lot of that with you, but essentially, it provides you a paper trail to prove that you did what you said you were doing. We all have insurance at home, car, auto, life. You really don't think you need it until you do. Constructive activities. If you're the smartest person in the room, don't let the staff know you're the smartest person in the room, but possibly you may be able to tutor others that are less fortunate than you, or help them out in the library, or, I'm not really sure, but, mentoring others academically in reading. First step back, earn time credit, good time credit. You can lose all of that. Doesn't always equal early release to home confinement. This may be policy as of June 17, 2025, but as case managers and wardens, each may have a bad day. The BOP as an agency is a culture. And with 122 prisons, having all of the case managers in all of those prisons on the same wavelength on day one, I don't think so. And so you can read all of this here, but from what I'm reading online is that there are case managers that say, we're not going to give you home confinement right away until we hear it from Grand Prairie, Texas, because they're not being trained right. And so this is a problem that the new BOP director, Williams, he's not the first to come up against the employee culture at the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Time will tell how he deals with it. I really don't know. How you can lose all of your earned time credits, your good time credits, and maybe wind up with another charge. There's a lot of things. Don't use a cell phone. Really. There were cell phones. I didn't see any, but I knew they were there. Eventually, the phones are found. If a phone number that is on your contact list is on that phone, then you're in a boatload of hot water, and you're either going to snitch on somebody else, or you're going to lose your good time credit, earned time credits, and you may not, you may do your full time in federal prison, or you could get another charge, or they could ship you to another prison. They could also take those numbers if they think it's your number and call it and ask the person in the other phone who picks up the phone if they know anyone at this prison. So just keep that bit of information handy. You don't want to do that. Coming home can be the hardest part if you're not prepared. If you're still struggling, take 13. I mean, this may seem a little bit out of left field, but there are people out there in life that have it worse. Take 13 minutes and listen. Admiral McCraven is the admiral who led the attack on bin Laden. But this hope hope is contagious. And so his lessons to live by, inspired by leaders from Mandela to a young girl in Pakistan, Malala, should kind of lead you a bit inspired. And I hope after listening to this, you feel inspired. I appreciate taking the time to listen to this YouTube today. Go to my website. It'll be easier to see this video. And I hope you have a good day. Stay safe.